Looking forward to telling you about aquaculture and how you can get into a career in this growing, high-tech, and relatively low-carbon sector. So the Sustainable Aquaculture Innovation Centre, or SAIC, as I will call us, has a mission to reduce the environmental footprint and increase the economic impact of UK aquaculture. Now, SAIC is one of 7 innovation centres, and the innovation centres were introduced by the Scottish Government to drive growth in areas of key economic and social importance. Now, SAIC does this by connecting businesses with research and development being done at universities so that businesses can grow, create job opportunities, and contribute to the economy. And my role within this as Head of Skills and Talent is to help encourage new generations into aquaculture and to develop those who are already working within the sector. So what is aquaculture? So aquaculture can sometimes be referred to as sea farming and is the practice of cultivating finfish, shellfish, and aquatic plants for human consumption. It is the fastest growing food producing sector across the world. And in Scotland, 97% of aquaculture is dominated by salmon and trout farming. Shellfish, which is mussels and oysters, and seaweed, both fascinating and growing areas, make up the rest. Now, the farms are located along the west and north coasts of the mainland and the Western Isles, Orkney and Shetland. Companies involved in supplying the sector are based all over the country as well as internationally. So aquaculture numbers: in 2018, there were 526 active sites in Scotland supporting 8,000 jobs and contributing £1.8 billion to the UK economy. Now, this is one of the UK's biggest food and drink exports, with amounts produced in 2018 shown on the slide here. It's important to note that all these numbers have gone up as this is a growing field. Now, farming or cultivating is a critical part of aquaculture. It's at the heart, but this is supported by a number of different processes or work streams, both pre and during growth. So, for example, feed and medicines, to post-maturity, where we have processing, retail, and food services. So careers in aquaculture span this entire value chain. Now, here's an example, just to give you a flavor of some of the organizations that operate within the aquaculture sector. So these are all part of the SAIC consortium members. We have 280 plus members, so we obviously couldn't fit them all on a screen, but I wanted to give you a spread of the different types of organizations. So academic organizations, education and research and development happen here. Public and trade bodies. So they set standards, they regulate and represent the sector to the government and the public. Suppliers, these are companies that supply equipment to the farms. We have the farms themselves, or the producers. We have retailers, these are you'll recognize a lot of the big supermarkets as well as sellers. And then we have specialist companies that specialize in nutrition. So these are feed producers, as well as health, and this is fish health, vets, and medicine. So what I'd like to do now is bring your attention to a fantastic and freely available resource from Lantra, our hosts, and Maui, who are one of the largest salmon producers in the world. They have created an interactive Prezi that maps some of the job families and careers in aquaculture. So this is neither an exhaustive list, nor will it answer every single question you might have, but it's a great way of developing your awareness of aquaculture, as well as exploring the area. So Annabelle will add the link to the chat, and you can click around and have a look whenever you want. So routes into aquaculture. You can get a job in aquaculture straight from school. You can do a foundation apprenticeship, you can do modern apprenticeship, you can get a degree, or you can continue to study and do a postgraduate degree such as a master's or a PhD. The next few slides, I've shown examples of job families and some examples of routes in. So the first, of course, is farming. And this is the heart of aquaculture. And there are many different types of jobs involved. So this particular slide focuses on fish farming, but the themes and the job types can be extracted to shellfish as well as to seaweed. So you can get into a career in aquaculture. Again, you can start with vocational training, where you can earn while you learn. So same with apprenticeships. So these are very specific courses to aquaculture, and the courses are designed working closely with the farming companies. There's also degrees to get into the sector, and these are broader. And I've listed a few organizations where you can start to study for both the qualifications as well as. Now, the biggest priority for the sector in Scotland is healthy fish and shellfish. So this is governed by standards for food safety and environmental protection. So environment is another very important job family. Now, a critical part of this is maintaining high environmental standards. So for example, water that contains plenty of dissolved oxygen will ensure farmed fish will thrive, feed well, and grow. So parameters such as water quality are continuously and closely monitored. And here, of course, are some of the examples of the related jobs. In terms of getting into environmental related job families within aquaculture, again, you can do courses that start with vocational qualifications as well as apprenticeships, or you can study full-time via a degree, and you can have degrees in environmental sciences or in environmental engineering. There's a variety of courses to get into the environmental side of fish farming. Now, the term supply chain, which is the next job family I'd like to cover, can cover a lot of different parts of the sector. So this one in particular focuses on retail, so the supply of fish, shellfish, and seaweed to the consumer. So here too, you can enter via a variety of routes. So in terms of your career, one really important thing to note is that your career will change over time. So new ways of thinking, new technology, and new information is always being integrated into the world of work. So your learning will not stop when you leave school. Also, you might not keep the same career for your whole working life. Instead, you might want to change, or you might have to change. So my top tip really is to always take opportunities to engage in work-based learning. So this, whether it's learning from more experienced colleagues or learning or something more formal, such as the SVQs, the graduate apprenticeships, continuing professional development opportunities, or upskilling and reskilling opportunities. So look out for them and always take the time to think about your learning journey within your career. So to summarize, aquaculture is the practice of cultivating finfish and aquatic plants for human consumption. It is the fastest growing food producing sector worldwide. There are many rewarding careers, and you can get into aquaculture directly from school or via college and or university.